Friends, welcome, hello, yes, good. Let's keep painting some of this Chavian tonight. What is happening? No thanks. This has been a fun project. As you can see, I did a little more yesterday after stream. Back to work today. It was good to get it out of the way. After a while, you just spin yourself in circles. So I got back to work, and all was well. So I was on stream yesterday for a little while, and I spent a fair bit of time talking about my next diorama. Well, I'm that jazzed for it. I went out to Bunnings yesterday and bought myself all of the things that I'm going to need for the base. Everything for the base. It's crazy stuff. But Neon Nights was the opposite experience for some of those other ones, where it just made me want to get in there and paint more dioramas. So that's nice to have felt that way. What do we do here? Do we go into... For what? For a diorama in general, or for this particular one? Um, yeah, interesting question. I don't tend to think in terms of budgets, which is a little foolish, probably. I just tend to think in terms of what do I want it to do, and then spend as much money as it requires for that to happen. Which is, yeah, probably a slightly foolish approach, but there you go. G'day Frog Jim. G'day Masso. It is a fantastic sculpt. Yes, this is beautiful. Beautiful little piece. So I can tell you that I spent 1,500 on the models. So that's a not insignificant amount. No, this is not a commission, mate. I don't really do commissions. I just tend to paint stuff that I like, and then at the end of it, I put it up for sale and see if anyone's interested in buying it. So that's all. just for fun. Everything I do is for fun. Yeah, the Aussie dollar is weak, so that both helps and hinders me. When I sell things, it's always wonderful. And when I buy things, it's painful. So you'll get to help me make some decisions about this piece right now. I haven't really firmed up on any ideas for what we paint this little boy. If we paint his clothes, so if you have a strong feeling on which way we should paint this little kid clothes, you think will look good, feel free to share your thoughts. I haven't even really gotten to that stage yet. I haven't really thought about it. So also got to get your thoughts on whether or not we continue this sort of pattern on his hat, or if we go for some other sort of pattern. It's kind of meant to be a g'day Covert Madness. What's it kind of meant to be, Dano? Sort of like a galaxy, if you will, galaxy. And by galaxy, I of course mean galaxy, constellations and what have you. Yeah, it absolutely would draw the eye a lot. So maybe we would be better off with something that reinforces that. Constellation idea, but isn't as much. Open to suggestions, friends. Open to suggestions. What colour we do this little kiddo and his clothes? What colour do we do the wizard's hat? What patterns do we do? Let's make this a collaborative project. We all work on together. Or you can just leave it all for me to decide, like I always do. Next June movie comes out very soon. Didn't realise it was as close as it is. It's next week. It's going to be fantastic. The 29th. Get amongst it. strong suggestion. Strong suggestion. But of course, the question then becomes, which Harry Potter house? I'm sure it would surprise none of you to know that Bucks's Hogwarts house is fucking Hufflepuff. What an absolute spud. Why is that? There we go. Oh, we'll just turn that off just in case Bucks joins. This little thing that I'm doing right now is called a specular highlight, by the way. And it is positioned based on where the viewer is and where the light is. It's most commonly done on hair and non-metallic metals. He looks like Ronald Weasley, doesn't he? Little baby Ronald. Okay, Jared. Thanks, mate. G'day, Minimancer. Alright, so at this point in time, a Hogwarts t-shirt looks like the most popular selection, given that it is also the only selection. That's not saying a lot. Now, still open to other ideas. Ooh. I'm going to stick with Doomfire Magenta for this, even though my preference is Volupus Pink. Why am I doing that? That's an interesting question. Why am I doing that? It's very saturated, this colour. AC/DC t-shirt, alright. Strong. Thank you, mate. It is both of those things. Well, I certainly think it's big. Camelot t-shirt. Hey, I've got a plan. I've got a plan for Guild Inn, which I'm absolutely convinced is doable. So, tell me how you feel about this. I think it's a great idea. So, I'm going to get Benny to take photos and stuff on the first day of the event, and then I'm going to take all those photos and I'm going to upload them to my Neon Night screen so that people will be able to see photos of themselves. Should be good. PRM photos. PRM. A suit of armour, that idea has some legs really, doesn't it? We could continue to try refining this idea of non-metallic metal on fabric, which I think we've only partially succeeded at. No, I wasn't planning on it, mate. But here's the thing: I'm actually jazzed about painting. How cool is that? for a long period of time, painting was my escape from all of the things that I would find stressful and challenging in my life. And then, for whatever reason, it kind of moved away from that into... What did it move into? It didn't move into a job. It didn't move into something I didn't like. But I found myself with other ways of keeping myself entertained, I guess. No, it's hard for me to pinpoint that, actually. I think it has to do with Crimson and the amount of work that goes into that. Talking to Andy about Threefold Soul is definitely guaranteed to not bring back the spark. It's guaranteed to fucking get me out of here. No, you won't. No, you won't. Look, my Uther is... thank you. My Uther is also inspired by others, so you're just passing on the journey, passing along. First day back, how was it? It was equally as challenging and frustrating as I expected, whilst also being not at all difficult. It's sort of, I don't know, my job, when you boil it down, I don't really do anything. Like, I obviously do, but from this perspective, I don't do anything. I just make sure other people do things, and so it's kind of a weird... Oh, Devil Child. It's kind of a weird thing to think about, because I don't do anything. So when I'm like, went back to work today, I was like, was it difficult? No, I didn't do anything. But was it stressful, and was it like a lot of pressure, and did I feel like exhausted at the end of it? I did. So it's a tricky one to, I guess, explain. So it was challenging and difficult and easy at the same time. Sort of. Covert, sort of. I'm a sales and operations manager. But it's working in project management now. Well played, Timbo. Still be hitting you up for a job soon, mate, so keep laughing it up, pal. Happily make t-shirts. Asbestos. I know a fair bit about asbestos, actually. One of my sites had asbestos a few years ago. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that a fun time? I'll answer that for you. It wasn't a fun time. reckon I could play around with this face for years. Years. A lot of my sites have been around for a long time, and we found asbestos in the walls in one. There was no exposure, but we had to pull the place down and rebuild it. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't difficult. It was just frustrating because we were closed. Alright, so I've heard AC/DC shirt, I've heard Hogwarts shirt, I've had suit of armour. Suit of armour is an interesting one. Any other thoughts on this little kid's shirt? And I'm with stupid. My girlfriend said to me yesterday that I should wear an I'm with stupid t-shirt where the arrow points up at me. She was in hysterics over that. She thought it was the funniest thing since sliced bread. I is it bad to me that this idea is starting to sound like a fantastic idea? It really is sounding like a glorious idea. I want to push the pram a lot. It's a silly place. Alright, so we're just going to write Camelot across here. They did. They did do a really good job on that piece, actually. Can't remember who did it off the top of my head. One of the incredible Spaniards, I assume. We are the knights who say, "Nee." We want a shrubbery. G'day, Anicroach28. Well, I'm going to talk about my diorama plans because my diorama for my next diorama is very exciting. I am feeling very, very positive about it. I ordered 14 models and I went yesterday to Bunnings and I bought the base. Bunnings cuts wood, in case you were wondering. Like if you go and ask them and say, hey, can you please cut this for me? They'll cut it. So I've roughly measured what I think it's, this will be the largest. This will be the largest ever. No, I did not. So, what I've got... G'day, Scarabost. What I've got planned is an elaborate scene. For those people who didn't see it yesterday, I'm going to show you right now because it's under here. I saved it. Here's one I prepared earlier. Sort of. Whee! Alright, it's a bad picture that you can't actually even see, but I'm going to show you here. Alright, this is it here. This white one. I'm going to turn it maybe a little bit so it's a little bit... There we go. Look at this. Okay, great. We're underway. See this? This is the scene in question. So, up the top here, we've got a church. And in this church is going to be some of the good guys standing up here bravely with the sun beaming down on them, right? So it's going to be a very bright, light area. Then, underneath the church, we're going to have a cavern, and there's going to be a chick inside it. We're also going to have a staircase coming down, winding down to here, and then it's going to be in a graveyard. There's going to be a mausoleum at the back, and there's going to be a spooky tree over here. There's going to be a river and a little stone bridge crossing over the river. Now, there'll be skeletons and all the bad guys down here, and there'll be a few, very few brave people defending the church. So, fun stuff we're going to do. We're going to have a smoke machine coming out of the mausoleum. We're going to have a cavern that's lit up with some unholy glow. I'm not sure what colour yet. And we're also going to have flickering lights in the graveyard. So there'll be graveyards lighting up. The colours will be flickering on and off. And then we'll have smoke machine. So this whole area will be shrouded in mist with the dudes walking through it. And then this cavern will be lit up, and then there won't actually be sunlight, although I could possibly do a holy light coming from the church, maybe. That could be a go. We'll see. So that's what we're going for. I'll show you the 14 models that I ordered. Well, the diorama piece of wood that I bought, I'll just go grab it. It is 700 millimeters across by 28.5 deep. And then I also bought a couple of other things. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these, but I'll show them anyway. I just bought some of these things. Yeah, just bought some of these little things. So maybe I'll put these on one side for the cavern. The cavern will be under here potentially. And then it also has this nice shape, but I don't know if I'm going to use that. That's just something I thought I'll buy. If not, I'll be able to use it for something else, maybe. There you go. Let me show you the models I'm using. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. No. I've already selected a number of three-dimensional prints. So how about I just show you a lot of stuff that I'm looking at. What do we need to go into here? Derive. Mate, if Neon Knights was at the thing, the koi fish would have looked small, alright? So, let's just fucking relax, alright? Let's just have a little bit of a relax. Okay, this is just some stuff that I'm potentially going to incorporate. I'll just click on things and you can have a look. So, some gravestones, right? Very good. Three-dimensional print perfection. Don't tell me that. This is a cross. So that might get used. This is just something that I thought looked cool, so I added this to my thing. It's got Sisters of Battle like statues. They're pretty cool. That might be the mausoleum I use with the smoke machine down the bottom. Might be. I'll think about that. This one is the other potential mausoleum. That's fine. This one was my first thought for the church, but I've moved away from this one a little bit. I think that's quite a good sculpt. What are your thoughts on that? It's quite good, but it maybe is too large for what I'm anticipating. I feel like this is maybe a small holy church. So this is the one that I'm probably leaning towards now, and this one actually doesn't look smaller, right? This one looks bigger, but this one comes in multiple pieces, so you can actually disassemble it, and I could turn that into roughly what I want. It is to scale, yes, so it's going to be large. Cool. And yeah, this is that mausoleum might be the one I like, actually, the bigger one. I like that one better, I think. So yeah, it'll be large. It'll be fucking large. Yep. So we'll have to think about it. And then let's go to Tenebrae. No, not in Backer Kit. That's where I went and paid for things. So this is the figures themselves. Is this still no? This is a bad version of this demo. So just do this and do this. Cool. So on top, defending the church, we have Galen. This guy, look at him. And he won't be on this thing. It's a great model, but he won't be on that. And we also, she's going to be summoning skeletons out of the ground. And we'll have this guy, a witch hunter, defending the church. Also cool. And then this guy, also summoning skeletons or being a bad guy. Very evil down on the ground. Didn't go for this chick. Doesn't fit in with the aesthetic as much. So, not including her. This guy is in there, riding forth. So we're gonna have we're gonna have three mounted characters on the undead side, on the side of the undead, which is awesome. She's not in it. She's not thematically right. This guy's in it, the big beast. Brr, brr, brr. This person, spirit, maybe sitting on the top of the mausoleum, maybe floating. Maybe I could have her floating in midair. That could be some good shit, actually. I might try for that. Not including her, too demonic. Not including that. Don't really want werewolves. So then, I think that's all from this one. Yes. So then if we go to here and we look at their other one, we have some more people. So this chick, this wild fucking model, this chick, she's going to be in the underground. I don't know that she fits thematically. I just think that's a fucking sick model. Sick model. And it's going to get included. She will be defending the church. Very Paladin-esque. How great. Rogland with a great paint job. Not on a horse. She is not on a horse. This guy, however, Obitus, he will be on a horse. He shall be riding across the bridge. Very good. Not including that. A bit too vampire-y. Here's some skeletons. Here's one holding a banner. Here's two coming out of the ground. Perfection. Here's another one with a banner. And that's it. Oh, and I got these little Tenebrae scenic sets. There you go. That's the plan. Is it an ambitious project though? Really? Would we call that ambitious? Or would we just say it's just Deno? It's just Deno being Miley. I'm just being Miley. There are many, many people who've been watching this stream for a long time. And for those people, I ask you this. Do you doubt me? Do you doubt that this project is going to get completed? After everything you've seen. There you go. Now that's a stretch, Jared. That is an absolute stretch. Orc Pirates is still sitting there, but what is the single quantity that Orc Pirates has that none of my other dioramas have? I'll answer that for you. It has an extra component by the name of Andrew Buckley. everyone else, every other diorama that I've spoken about on this thing I've done. Now they haven't always come about in the exact same way that I envisage them, but that's part of the fun of my creative process. I just make it up as I go along, right? Look at that old guy. Look at his skin. How very old. So if everything goes to plan with said diorama, I spoke to one of the guys from Chimera. I said, my friend, give me the word, when will my thing ship? If we are really fortunate, they'll ship by the end of Feb. If we're really fortunate. So that means I'll get them in probably about 4 weeks. So 4 weeks. 4 weeks for me to build the base. Sort of. It's probably more about me doing the wiring. And getting the 3D prints. And thinking about where they are placed. And of course, testing out my smoke machine. Smoke machine. Okay. Alright, so here is my thoughts on this guy. Do I continue this pattern up here, or do I just go for like a half crescent moon and do some lines off of that, or something like this? It should look astronomical. Of course they are, Timbo. That's why they do the Kickstarters, mate, to fund the production of the molds, so they can sell them to the general public. Moon and planets. It's been a while since I've painted some wood. Maybe I should paint some wood. I agree. I think the pattern may be too distracting on the hat. Well, I'm adding the lizard men to the list, I think, as well. I'd really like to do a lizard men one. You've been really dumb tonight, Jono. Paititi from Aradia. All of the lizard men when they come out. Painting a lot of brown at the moment. Benny would be so proud. We'll go into green though for this. Yeah, Triceratops guy, exactly. What? Fund. Hey look, here's something I will tell you. I got to the end of Neon Nights and I was really disappointed at myself. I did actually start filming some stuff early on to make a full, like, here's a diorama. I made this diorama video and do a really cool video. Well, guess what? I got to the end of it. And I realised that I had not done that. So, got to prepare for my future, friends. My future as a YouTube celebrity. Yeah, it's a good video. I got like 45 minutes of me just fucking holding pieces of stuff together. And like, yeah, this will work, yeah. I thought to myself, how the fuck am I going to cut this together? Well, the answer is I didn't. Nice one, Dino. One of your best. Bum, 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 bum. Good one, Dino. One of your best. It's a wooden sword. The dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind. Anytime, but depending on sage appetite. wanna try. Fastidious and precise, she's a killer queen. In a town. What song can I sing for you, Timbo? How's that start? As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been lasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. You be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch out you're walking and where you're talking. Cause you and your homies might be lying to jock. I never faced a real something, no. As I'm something, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been spending most of their life living in a gangster's paradise. Been spending most of their life living in a gangster's paradise. Power and the money, money and the power. Minute after minute, hour after hour. So I gotta be down with the hood dream. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. G'day, Kaylin. And hey, little girl, look what you do. Oh, I love you. And hey, little girl, look what you do. Thought he could stump me. Thought he could stump the big fella. There's probably only been... Oh, I do miss you, mate, yeah. Back to work today. I missed you a lot today. Well, I think there's only been one or two songs that I've ever been stumped by. And when I Googled them, I actually knew them. I just didn't know that... Alright, let's try a crazy fucking sun and a moon symbol on this guy's hat. Okay, let's go. Why not? How big do we go? Which way do we want the curve? I feel like this way is easier for me to control, so I'll do that way. Is Jared good at freehand? I was not aware of that, actually. Or is that you being facetious? Look, the only freehand I've seen of Jared's is what he dished up on the back of that fucking dragon diorama, which was rubbish. So. Do you like this figure, Caitlin? I think this would be a figure Caitlin would enjoy. This feels like. Yeah. Me too. What project are you doing, Simon? Is it nice. That's no moon. That's a space station. Alright, do I do something small up here? Yeah, we'll just do something small. Maybe just another little. Maybe I'll just put the Deathly Hallows in the back here. Yeah, little Deathly Hallows. Shh, our little secret. HP. Okay. Let's get a little bit of this. It's a mossy tree. Alright. So, I think I have decided that I am going to try for... I don't know. Filthy Mudblood. I don't know. I don't know if Buxy's in tonight. I haven't really spoken to him today. I imagine he's been deep in the fucking threefold sauce. Doing some rubbish. It's so deep right now. It's a deep burn. Alright. Stop fucking around and do something, Deno. This shirt. Alright, how about this? How about we pretend that we double tap. This top thing is like a pretend piece of armour, and this bottom thing is a shirt that says Camelot. Done. Good work, team. Everyone's involved very heavily in that decision, but mostly me. G'day, Chaos is insane. Hello. Okay, let's go. Oh, little girl. Alright, let's get our non-metallic metal colours out. Don't bump that, you dickhead. That's not exactly the colour I was after, but maybe we make that work. So, I've got to decide on a few things for my crazy diorama. The flickering LEDs. So, what colour should the ground LEDs be in the graveyard? It's a difficult question. My first thought was green. However, I just did green. Oh, thanks, Chaos. Yeah, see, that was my first thought too. Caitlin's going in with purple. Spoopy blue. Alright, we're going to have orange for the light underneath in the cavern. So this is graveyard shit. Orange is right out. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, just go rewind like 15 minutes. I showed off my picture. Here's the problem with the orange, right? That looks like firelight. We don't want firelight. Firelight is just gauche, mate. Everyone's got firelight. We need some mystical shit. Purple is strong. Purple is strong. Now, if you recall the way that I approached Neon Knights, we didn't have a lot of work being done by the LEDs. Kaylin is strong on purple. Kaylin is absolutely strong on purple. I don't know how common purple LEDs are though, so I'll have to look into that. I kind of want to go green. I know I did green on Neon Knights for the sewers, but it's just a very good, consistent... Yeah, she's absolutely losing the plot, Kayla. Chill, Kayla. Jeez. Purple. Strong. Green is classic Necromancer LED shit. You're right. I feel like it should be green. And then what we can do is we can have purple coming from the mausoleum and the smoke machine spewing out purple smoke. How do we feel about that? Well, the answer is we feel great about that. Good. Kaylin's on board, everyone. Stand down. Stand down. We'll see. We'll see if we're going to get... see if we're going to get all the things we want. The smoke machine, I'm absolutely locked in on though. Like, I try to learn something new on every project, as you know. So on this one, it's a smoke machine. I found a smoke machine that I think will work for our purposes. My purposes, I suppose. No, it's small. I didn't show you the link, but it's like the size of it's this big. That's it. And it's fucking good shit, man. I'll send you, I'll put the link, I'll show you the link. It's on my list. They got videos and shit you can watch. Now, how exactly I'm going to incorporate that into the electronics and or whatever else, I haven't figured that out yet. That's a future trend problem. Fuck that guy. That guy sucks. Hey, look, mate, if we worried about logistics and how things work instead of how cool it would be, we'd never do anything. We adapt. We change things around. No, the difference between you and me is I make this look good. It's a Men in Black quote. It's not actually me ripping on you. G'day, Mini Dan. How are you, mate? Thank you, buddy. Alright, so we're locked in. Smoke machine, green LEDs, flickering green LEDs on the... That's good, mate. Well, from an outsider's perspective, it has not been noticeable. The stuff you've been cranking out is absolutely bangers, so... you have my absolute respect for painting for a living. It's a very hard thing to do. And, yeah, kudos to you, mate. Yes, Jared? A moving lift for the skeletons. See, this is the pie in the sky stuff that I love, right? So the skeletons actually come up out of the ground. Wow, this could have legs. All we need is something that goes up and down. It doesn't need to be that difficult, does it? Could have legs, mate. Or skeleton bones. Mate, I've been very well. Well, kind of the opposite to you, mate. My personal life has been thrown upside down. My real job been very challenging. So, but everything on the painting front's been going really great. Just really enjoying painting models at the moment. I'm sure you've seen it already. The amazing Neon Knights diorama. It is amazing, even if I do say so myself. Although now I look at it, I look like that is aimed at Minimancers, so I'll shut up. Okay, I reckon that could be a great idea. So, how do we make that idea a reality? Where would we get a very small lift? Well, Scarabost, I know a guy who's already done that. And that's right, it's me. We've got a hype train out of nowhere. I don't know what's happening, but we've got a hype train. Have fun, everyone, with a hype train. Hype train! I reckon this lift idea from Jared's got some Lego. See, you're a font of wisdom tonight, Jared. I could use Lego to make a lift. Smoke machines. I like it. I like where we're heading with these ideas, Jared. Jared, he doesn't ever have good ideas. Okay, let's get a little bit of my favourite contrast paint for non-metallic metal. That's right, it's Gryph-Charger Grey. Oh, I've got Cygor Brown down here. I like that one too. Alright, Jared, I'm having a look, mate. This could be it. This could be up there with the best ideas you've ever had. Okay, that's not the best idea you've ever had. That's rubbish, actually. That's about a fucking 0.5 out of 10. This is more rubbish, mate. I'm going to be unhappy. Alright. Now look, that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. But I'm not going to write it off. I'm not going to write the idea off. Because I can see it. I can visualise it in my head. I can visualise a tiny little lift that sits at the bottom of the thing and brings skeletons up out of the ground. I can see it in my head. Can I tell you about an idea I had a few years ago, and I never really tried to make it a reality, but it was just an idea that I had, so I'm going to share it with you anyway. There's got to be, right, some sort of modelling putty fluid or something that is flammable, right? Flammable. That if you set it on fire, it melts and burns, right? I'm sure that is an absolute reality. So I was imagine you painted a skeleton, right? And then over the top of the painted skeleton, which you then douse with, I don't know, some sort of flame retardant thing, you sculpted a model over the top of that. And then at a show that you were preparing for, you're like, here is my piece, fucking Phoenix or something, asbestos, yeah, make it out of asbestos, and then you set the model on fire while the judges are standing there, and then 5 minutes later there's a skeleton that you've painted. And it's like art, right? Because art is, you know, ephemeral and doesn't last forever, and that's like part of the message that you're telling with your piece. What do you think about that idea? Where's Bucks when you need him? He'd have a fucking field day with that idea. He'd be like, what a great idea, Dano. Can I have a hell no? Or can I have a hell yeah? Alright. Just the things I was mulling over, right? It was just the things I was mulling over. I never said it was a good idea. Alright, all I said was this was an idea that I had. Threefold soul. That's it. That's it. Hello, Weetabix. Bonjour. Bonjour. Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Put your mattress on the dun 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 and we'll provide the rest. Hydraulic lifts is probably suboptimal, mate. But I'm gonna ask my friend tomorrow when I go see my friend next, Mark. He's a dude who helps me with stuff that I'm not good at. I'm gonna ask him if a hydraulic lift is possible using a Raspberry Pi or something like that. Raspberry Pi is not the thing. That's a type of Arduino thing that you use. Jared is big on the lift idea, right? And do you want to know why? It's because in his life he has never yet created a diorama that people go, wow, that's great. And if he gets this idea off the ground, he's going to be able to say, I contributed to that diorama, that's partly mine. And he's going to be able to wear that forever. Right? So that's what's happening here. We all know it. Mate, rumbling and shaking is a fucking vastly more challenging thing than a hydraulic lift. Hydraulic lift is a piece of cake. Right? You cut a little hole out of the ground, you put a little base underneath it, and then the fucking skeletons come up out of the ground. Easy. Easy. Hey man, I'll happily teach anyone anything I can. Here's the Trent Dennison School of Diorama Making. Just fucking put shit on a base until it looks alright. No, they'll lie. I did my plans. Here we go. So let's try and incorporate Jared's hydraulic lift idea. This is a fucking stupid idea. Alright, let's have a look. So here's my little diorama plan so far, right? So we've got the bridge and we've got graves down here, right? So let's grab a different paintbrush so that we can draw our hydraulic lift, right? So this is how we do it. This is the ground from the top down. We just cut this out of the thing, right? And then in front of it, we just have a little mound that sits up and hides the gap. Doesn't even need to be this light. Like it'd be a tiny little rectangle like this, right? The models are quite narrow, so it'd be a tiny little rectangle, and we glue the models to this rectangle, right? And we put stuff on the base so that it matches in with the earth, and then you just make this like an overhang, almost like it's a grave, like an empty grave, and then your hydraulic lift from underneath, right? This is the ground with your thing. This is not to scale, obviously, friends. We just have a little lift in here that goes up and down. Easy as that, mate. Right? We just cut a little hole in the ground here, and we've got some skeletons coming up out of the ground. It's flawless. Like, what can go wrong? Aside from the smoke machine and the lights, and the more glowing lights down here, and the light coming from here. Have to get Precision out to fix the fucker every couple of days. No. No. Shan't be happening. I want to push the pram a lot. Now, in all seriousness, Mini Dan, I'm doing a little jam session on diorama building actually, which I may ask Jared's permission to film, so that we can upload to the internet perhaps. Yeah, that's the plan. Now I'm actually not sure how much value I can really add on dioramas, because as much as I was being facetious before, that really is what I do. Is I just grab stuff and put it on a base and hope for the best. But you start doing that over and over, and eventually you get some ideas and things that you take away. So that's what I'm going to talk about mostly. Alright, what do we got here? Okay. So can I put that base in the bottom of the ghost and then put that underneath so that the ghost just hovers in the middle of the thing? Look, we did say pie in the sky stuff, right? So that's what we're aiming for right now, is pie in the sky. You've certainly put a lot of pie up there. Put it that way. That one would probably be easier than the other one. Am I right? Look, it is a good idea, but it's also a fucking terrible idea. Because you're going to make me try and fucking do these things. Don't say that, Scarabus. Don't encourage him, alright? We get enough absolute drivel from him. Why don't I just build a fucking time machine while I'm at it, you clowns? Alright, mate. Interactivity is important. Interactivity is important. But I don't feel like that's our answer, mate. Oh, is my sound on? Sorry, Bucks. I didn't even put my speakers on. Bucks is here, everyone. Hello, Ed.
You left the back door open, mate, so I thought I'd let myself in.
Oh. Jared is just being an absolute pillock at the moment.
Is he trolling? He's got a newfound troll engage button these days. He goes pretty hard.
Yeah. So there's a strong possibility that there's going to be another t-shirt made.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Who about?
Just Jared.
About Jared?
Yeah.
Oh, just Jared's getting another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, what have you done?
No, he's absolutely obsessed with this idea.
I'll be back in a sec. I just got to get some water.
All right. Look, I'm not going to lie. The skeletons coming up out of the ground idea is pretty awesome. And I'm actually going to try and make that one work.
Is this for your church and
Yep. It's for the next
Okay.
diorama. I'm feeling it at the moment. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling a lot of stuff, mate.
what do you feel? Well, you don't talk about feeling a lot. Usually, you're doing a lot of stuff, but you're
Yeah.
feeling a lot of stuff.
So when I say I'm feeling it, what I mean is I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm getting into it.
Very good. You're getting into painting, or you're getting into this idea?
Both, mate.
Right. Nice.
I think this guy shows that I'm into painting a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. So is the idea for this one? I'm assuming it's like a bit of that fantasy action, like a metal wizard, Laura Metal Wizard, Laura Gold or whatever, and then
It was a non-metallic metal
gold and silver.
gold, and then this guy's wearing a silver.
Sure.
Yeah, like he's got armor on, sort
Nice.
of. Yeah, well, we'll see.
I was in the city of Stippling for the last 12 hours. It was a hell of a ride.
Did you reach the Holy Land? Did you reach the Promised Land?
I did.
All right. Well, I think you should share with the chat what you've been cooking.
Alright, sure. I'll put it in the Discord. How do I do this? Oh, I just had a brain fart.
All right. Bigger diorama could be an answer. Could be an answer. Banning Jared from this stream could also be an answer.
The rough photo.
Australia's most decorated. While we're at it, why don't we ban Timbo as well? This is good stuff from you two. You're just making it easier for me.
The photo's a bit shad, but hopefully it's not very high res.
Oh, friends, this is it. This is Buxo's majestic piece. This has got him back. He's back. Look at that. Look at her face. You are the real Wizard of Oz.
It's going alright?
It's going alright, mate. I can't do that level of contrast in the face. I can't do it. I don't know how you do it. There's a lot of things I don't know how you do on that sort of thing, but that's up there. Oh my god. Look at this. There's a fucking frog in here.
in your room, in your house.
No, look,
Oh yeah, there's a frog in his pocket.
there's a
isn't
little
it?
frog
Yeah.
there. How
Yeah.
did I not know that? This model has become even more of a favourite of mine. Let's paint the frog and taste the
Yeah,
biscuit.
This face is probably one of my better faces. I think.
I think it's the best face you've ever painted, mate. I think
Yeah.
you did something that I have never been able to do, which is you created value contrast shifts in a female face. Hello, All Might. Welcome. Like the little white spots on her eye and in that little eyelid spot, just magnificent, mate. Just magnificent.
Yeah. Let's hope I can finish it off. Right. Let's hope I can hold it the whole way through.
Yes, that is the challenge for you now. Is to bring that home. What's happening, Thomas? Did you have a good stream, mate? Everyone should go follow All Might. Very big fan of the channel. Regularly pops in here and chats and lovely man. Mate, I'm doing wonderfully well, thank you. I think Bucks is also doing well. He's been painting for about 48 hours today, so he's had a
I'm
good
really
day.
frazzled. I'm trying. I painted like 5 to 6 hours today, and then like maybe I'll just sit and chat, and then I'll start painting once we're finished because. I need to mix colours and do shit. You know how it is.
Well, I wish I could say that I knew how it is, mate, but you've left me in the dust.
I think if you want to, you can do this. You don't even you already know how to do this. I think it's just a matter of if you want to do this stuff.
How dare you?
What?
How dare you accuse me of being able to paint? It's a lie, friends. Thanks, mate. Have a great day. Beautiful day today.
So I've come in with absolutely nothing to talk about. That is not common of me to do so. But what's good? What's up?
What's
going on?
good?
What's good? Lead me, sir.
Look,
We're doing some blind leading the blind tonight.
look, mate. It was my first day back at work in 5 weeks, and I've got not
Yeah.
much juice left either. So,
Yeah.
but I'm here because I'm excited about painting, and I think that's a good place to be for someone who hasn't probably felt that way for a little while.
Yeah. Well, that's
Um,
it.
I don't know, I think we were talking about this a little while back. My experience with painting has changed thanks to events like the Crimson Brush, which I found myself heavily involved in. But what has actually rejuvenated me a little bit is the advent of the Guilds Inn and the Arc
Oh, yeah.
Open. Some events that I'm sort of not really involved in.
Mm-hmm.
It's allowing me to, have something that inspires me and motivates me towards producing cool works, which is interesting because I don't know if I feel like I needed that, if I needed something to drive me towards, but yeah.
Well, I mean, we spoke about this We spoke about this a little bit yesterday and a little bit just before you jumped in, and that like where our scene was when we came along, that there was sort of yourself and really Dave sort of, and that's it. Maybe there was pockets of people playing around and doing a bit of bits and bobs, but no one was really active and in things like streaming, event running, or teaching, anything, right? So I'm not surprised that to some degree, like shouldering that load for a fair while, like there was eventually going to be some, um, not burnout. Burnout's the wrong, but I think you know what I mean. What's the word?
Burnout.
Yeah, you think it's burnout or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Well, burn. Um, and then there's a whole wave of painters that have popped up in the last 18 months around Australia. And with that, new events and new ideas and new challenges as well. So I'm also not surprised that there's newfound motivations and drive to do other things. So.
Yeah, I like having something to look forward to,
Mm-hmm.
and for a long time, Crimson was that thing that I look forward to. And then, you know, and again, I'm not looking for a fucking sob story here. You know, taking on the organisation of that event changed its focus for me into something I look forward to, into something where I just want to do a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
And so that change brought about, probably some good things for the event, but some less good things for my motivation around painting.
Yep.
So where we find ourselves now is with some other events that I can sink my teeth into, allow me to feel really good about Crimson and, pour my organisational talents into that. Yeah. Although we're definitely going to need to have a plan in place for next year, because I am unlikely to have a job.
Yeah. Sounds to me like Crimson will be your job.
Well, I don't think we'll be making enough money for that, but let's wait and see.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? How could you come off a major event, particularly from the organisational side of it. This is the smallest break I've left between painting and then doing Crimson, and that's probably because I had a decent sized break before it. But still, it was probably like two and a half, 3 weeks.
Yep.
So you're about the same, but also having time off work too. But fuck that, man! Like Arc just pops up out of nowhere.
Well, yeah.
That's like 5 weeks away now or something, isn't it? Like if that 6 weeks, maybe 7. I don't know.
I think it's about 8 weeks. So you've jumped the gun slightly because it's the 27th, 28th of April, and we're at the 19th of Feb. So 2 months, but
yeah. But you know what? That's about 5 weeks painting, right? If you have nothing that if you have only a couple of things that pop up in that time, you're probably getting 5 weeks.
It is a lot closer than we think, because in that period is Easter.
Yeah.
Right? Easter just disappears. And then we've also got number of things in that time frame
Life.
for me. Life, yeah. The new June movie.
Oh, can't wait. Yeah, we have birthdays as well.
Yeah, my birthday, your birthday, Jared's birthday.
Yeah.
Wouldn't get you hung up on somebody that you used to know, but you didn't have to cut me Yeah, it's nice to be feeling motivated and inspired to paint at the moment. So
Have you been seeing any stuff around that you've really liked from other painters?
everything fucking Sergio Vilches touches is fucking wild, man.
I mean, you want to measure a measure of a good teacher. Did you see all of the Mandalorians?
Unbelievable, mate.
Everyone.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah.
So
You're excited for motivated Aussie painting. No worries, Mini Mansa. He's been firing off some ideas for you lately, hasn't he, the old Mini Mansa?
he has some good ones too. Better than the tripe that Jared's been tossing up tonight.
Yeah, sometimes Jared's ambition just gets all the way out there. Not necessarily a bad thing. What's he giving? What's he been serving you?
He wants me to put a hydraulic lift into my diorama so skeletons rise up out of the ground.
That's just cool, Jared. That's too far. He's not building sets. Next, you're going to tell him it's time for him to build a script, moving components, a little bit of acting.
Well, I am doing a smoke machine.
Yeah, I heard you say you're going to do a smoke machine. It was the obvious next step, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I think that'll look cool.
So what made you choose this Spiro of all the spirits?
I just wanted something nice. I just felt like painting something with joy.
Yeah.
You know, I've said recently, I said on stream that I haven't really connected with a lot of the Spiras recently, and you know, I like the ones that are like warriors, and you know, probably my favourite Spira. Yeah, smoke machine for the next diorama, mate. Probably my favourite Spira that I ever saw was the Elf Rider.
Yeah.
Really awesome figure. I painted
Elf Rider. Yeah, Elf Rider's really.
Yeah, but I didn't do a very good job on it because it was like
You painted that quite a
very long time ago. But yeah, one thing that I felt quite keenly over the last few projects, last few things was just I want to paint stuff that makes me feel good, and at the moment, you know, Neon Knights was awesome, and it was no barbarians or orcs fighting each other. It was just some cool dudes. Just some cool dudes, and I think when I was looking at models to paint, this one jumped out at me as something that just felt nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This one is funny because I don't think it started off the most popular when it came out, but more and more people are painting this above some of the other ones. So maybe it's a sleeper.
For sure. In Santium, I've talked a little bit about it, but it's going to be a diorama using all of the Chimera models from their Kickstarter, Tenebrae. It's going to be a church scene with some brave heroes defending a church against a horde of undead. So... Mini Dancer, as I said, mate, the ability to paint commission is inspiring to me because I don't know that I can do it. It is a difficult thing. I'm basically staring down the barrel of it right now, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy willpower, motivation, dedication to be able to do it. So, if you scroll back and have a look through yesterday's stream, mate, you'll actually see a little picture I made of what the diorama is going to look like. And if you will rewatch this stream later on, you'll also be able to see all of the things that I've picked out for it so far.
I'm going to use Dave's color palette for these non-metal metallic gold little bells that are in here. I've not used that in a long time, as I tend to mix most of the colors I use. Let's see how it goes.
I'd really like to watch you paint one day, Andrew.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever watched you paint, actually, now that I think about it.
I'm a bit chaotic as a painter. I don't know that it translates into good watching. But yeah, maybe this is the year I start to do a night.
I believe in you. Alright. Camelot!
Yeah, I often sort of go back to some of those fundamental lessons I learned from like what Land did for non-metal metallic actually.
Yeah.
Which is like just having like a warm yellow, a cold yellow, some brown and black, and just mixing all the colours that you need for the job. And then I actually started using greens a lot. I started using like pistachio and interior yellow and all that sort of stuff.
Pistachio has made it into my rotation a lot.
Yeah.
You didn't have to cut me off. Feel like you never up and know we were nothing.
Maybe I should really do silver bells. Because
Silver bells.
Silver bells and copper shells, yeah.
Soon it will be Christmas Day. Ding-a-ling. Hear them ring. No. So
we'll do gold, and if it doesn't work, we'll repaint.
Why not?
We'll
What's next for you, buddy? What's next project off the rank? Cab off the rank? What do you
For
feel?
me, after this,
Yeah.
I've got that Viking 75mm backdrop piece that I've got.
Yeah.
I've got a Northern Winds that's fully ready to go. I've got some Warhammer scale stuff that I wouldn't mind doing. So who knows? You know, I never really plan too heavily ahead. I never really know what I'm painting until it's on the table. I've got some stuff I want to paint. You know, that's a lot more from me than like just taking a bust or a figure and painting it. But you know, those projects, they tend to take a lot out of you because you've got to source things, and I hate sourcing stuff. I hate it. I find it to be so infuriating. not just having the thing right there ready to go when I want it.
Yep. It's one of the reasons why I'm poor, because I constantly buy things just because I like to have them there when I need them.
Yeah, mate.
Like I went and bought another 30-meter roll of Multics
Yeah.
and another handy Ultra yesterday.
Yeah.
I have a 30-meter Multics that I just opened and two handy
You're like,
Ultras
yeah, but one
sitting
more.
over there. I
For
don't want
the 3 years in the future.
I don't want to miss out. If
Yeah.
I'm in a painting zone, I just want to be able to keep going.
So yeah, a few ideas. I've got like as for the bus that I've got like lying around that I know I'll paint this year. I'll paint Sergeant Carter this year. Is it Sergeant Carter or Major Carter? You know the
Yeah,
dude with the beret.
dude,
I'll
yeah.
paint that for sure.
I'm not working on anything particular, mate. Even though I was saying before how much it's cool to have something to motivate me, it's not really. I don't really paint anything specifically. I just like having a little thing to go towards.
Yeah, something to dabble with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And historicals. I actually really want to paint 2, maybe 3 54mm historicals this year.
Cool. This might be the year I do a tank.
Nice.
Finally. So scale modelling.
Yeah, it's quite funny. So, for example, when we spent some time at Alan's over the 2 weeks ago, last week before, I gravitate a lot to the historical stuff.
Yeah.
More than the fantasy stuff, interestingly.
Yeah, I got that cool T-Rex dinosaur that I want to put into a diorama against a tank, maybe.
That'd be fun.
Let's just do cool shit, man. Let's just do
Yeah.
cool shit, whatever we want.
Let's just have fun. Yeah. Definitely one. I was on Fur actually the other day having a look at the 54mm.
Nice.
I'd like to actually enter a historical painting competition.
QMHE, mate.
Yeah, or even finally chuck something in these Victorian ones down here. I've got a nice idea for the FER, you know, the British Longbowmen.
Yep.
I've got a nice idea for that I want to do. I think I told you about it, didn't I?
You did?
Maybe I did. Yeah, the Lego stuff.
Yep. I'll tell you what. I
Yeah.
have absolutely knocked this out of the park. I don't think I've painted anything this good in a long time. This is up there as one of the best things I've ever painted, and I don't know why.
Let me put it up on the screen. You don't know why?
Nah, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
you've not used your hairbrush at all.
Yes, I have.
So how much have you used it?
Well, a decent amount.
Okay. What is it that, can you identify what it is that you're really liking about it?
No clue. No clue. QMHE absolutely does normal fantasy, mate. They have its own category. We invaded a couple of years ago and destroyed it. They didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah, for all the fantasy stuff we took, my best award was in historical Islam. Right? Explain that.
They don't really know how to handle us, but they appreciate us being there. So
I'll tell you, I'm pretty hyped for Old World too, to be honest.
the back might need a little bit more work. I'm contemplating just adding a little green rim light here with this emerald. So we might do that.
I think we have to go real high contrast on these guys. Music to your ears, mate.
A ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. See you, Jared. Fucking enjoy that.
Where's he off to?
3:40 a.m. starting call.
Oof.
There's not much to get me out of bed at that time of day, I'll tell you that for a fact.
No. About a flight and that's it, eh?
Round of golf, maybe.
You like a bit of golf.
Oh, I love golf, mate. I used to play every weekend.
That's something I didn't know about.
Yeah. I had a handicap of 11.
I think I also want to do something full non-metal metallic again this year. I actually took a pretty big year off non-metal metallic last year. If you have a look at all the things I painted, I didn't paint a lot of it.
Well, you smashed yourself into it the year before, didn't you?
Yeah. And it's weird. It's weird like that because you're trying to prove to yourself you can do these things, right?
Yeah.
For a lot of it, you're like, can I hang? Can I do this sort of stuff? And you do it, and then you ask yourself, wait a minute, do I actually enjoy doing that? Was that fun?
The answer for
The
me
answer-
is yes. The answer for
The answer
you,
is yes.
maybe
Yeah,
not.
The answer is yes, but I also enjoy true metals. Isn't it fascinating that true metal pieces have won the last two Crimson Brushes? That's fascinating.
It's an underappreciated art form
Yeah.
in our hobby, anyway.
Our dear friend David has been inspiring me a little bit. He's been doing his year that he's planning is all around. So he just did like a year. Basically, if you look at all Dave's work from the last 12 months, he did a lot of universal lighting.
Yep.
This year is going to be a lot of environmental lighting.
Awesome.
So like a lot of temperature stuff, but also like a lot of he's playing around with time a lot, like time of the day, right?
Oh, okay. Dawn.
Yeah. Yep. Dawn. Dusk, all sorts. And I think that's pretty interesting. I don't think that that's something that's a lot has been done so far.
Probably not so much. Probably not.
Well, maybe it has, but it's not a trend, right?
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I think it's
Yeah.
been done, but I don't think people have been consciously going, I would like to paint this model to express dawn, right?
Yeah.
They're just like saying this is going to be light or this is going to be nighttime, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly that. Intentional.
Don't start me with this intentionality rubbish again, mate.
Mate, you need to listen to some Rick Rubin.
Achillean green. All right, let me ask you this, Bucks. And
You can ask me
this
whatever
is
you
not
want.
this is not intended to be a humble brag, even though it probably
Yep.
comes across as that.
Yeah.
How many people in the world do you know that could do that in 5 hours?
Do what you've done in 5 hours.
I've done this in 5 hours.
Um, it's an interesting question. I think there's a few people that can do it in 5 hours if they had the practice and they had the specification. I think where you're different is that you've been doing it at 5 hours for so long that or between 4 and 7 or 8 hours for so long that
If my
there
mama
wouldn't be
thinks that my
there wouldn't be
mind is
someone
gone,
there wouldn't be someone that would be able to do it right away, but I think people could do it. I'm finding a way that I can both acknowledge what you're saying, but also
not give me the satisfaction of saying that no one else can do it.
also encourage people who maybe really like you, like the way you paint, that they can do it too.
Good for you. I think that's an admirable goal. But now the question I'm asking myself is,
Yeah.
should I turn this 5 hours into an 8 hours and really try and go hard?
Well, I'm going to suggest that you can't, and the reason why you can't is because where the extra 3 hours of work would have been, you've already gone past.
Ooh.
And that's why you constantly see a law of diminishing returns quicker than other people.
Interesting.
Let him cook. I've spent a long time watching you paint, my friend. I feel acutely qualified for this conversation. What I'm not qualified for is snatching a whole bunch of black into the colour that doesn't do that. What do you think of that style?
I completely missed it because I was hair drying, but I think it was basically let the man cook, and then something.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, you heard what I said before that, so that's what I'm talking.
Yes. No, I think that's actually an interesting thing that I'd like to dive into more with you because I don't. The point at when you want to make those extra moments, you want to put that extra time, I would not have perceived that to be in the middle period, but that is what you perceive it to be.
Yes.
Hmm.
That's where nuance is born.
What an intriguing.
It's realized by the end of the piece, but the nuance starts in the middle. It even starts at the start when you start mapping. You start to see things. You start to explore things. You make mistakes. Through those mistakes, you may find new avenues or not. At the worst case, you learn what not to do or what you don't want to do. You do it, you don't like it, so you do it again and get a better result. Or you don't get a better result, but again, you know why you didn't. Keep moving forward, so... Have you heard that proverb about the old man who fills water every day at a well?
I have not.
So I'm not gonna do this perfectly because I'm not. But
Yep.
the premise, and so I'm going to butcher it a little bit, and I apologise. But Rick Rubin uses this in his book, and Ben made me listen to it last night, and I was like listening to the most demo-relevant proverb on intentionality that will help him, I think, understand it a bit more and maybe want to utilise it a bit. The concept is that an old man fills his bucket of water every day at the same well with this same process, and it's a laborious and cumbersome process. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another man approaches him. The man is an old man, by the way. So another man approaches him and says, "What are you doing? I see you every day come to this well." He says, "This is the process I go through to get water." And the man goes, "Okay." And he comes back the next day and meets him with a arrangement of pulleys
and stuff,
and basically creates like a levee system. Right?
Yeah.
And teaches the man that the levee system is a much more effective and streamlined way to get water out. And the old man marvels for a moment at it, and then politely says, "I think I would still like to use my way to do it." And the man who showed him this new system asks, "Why is that?" And he says, "Because the way I do it, every action has thought behind it, and every thought has intention. And although it might be longer and harder, through that process, I know that my water tastes better."
It's a good proverb. It's a good story.
Rather than my water tastes better, he says, with your way, how do you even know the water tastes good? Now, I have not memorized that, but that's the basic premise. I'll definitely get the exact thing for you to listen to, but how about that one?
That's interesting. It's interesting.
Thank Benny for that one. Obviously, Ben's quite a big recruiting fan. I think as someone to look to for some creative guidance or understanding creativity, he's obviously certain person for that. And I'm sure you can put two and two together and apply that to what we're talking about. For example, I've probably put 24,000 dots on this model in the last 12, 13, 14 months.
Was that time well spent in your book?
Yes.
Well, then that is a success.
But it's not about the value of the time spent.
Well, I think everything is about the value of the time spent, actually, if you want to get really deep into it.
Yeah, I know that's what you think. But for me...
And I don't say that meaning that it's better to do it quicker, I just mean that the actual experience is all that matters.
Yeah. I guess the reason, why I do it is less than, like it's not about the outcome, nor is it about the experience, but it's about knowing that that's what I need to do because it's what I need to do to achieve a desired effect that I want. And there isn't necessarily a shortcut for that. And if there is, maybe I don't want to use that shortcut because there is a sense of achievement at the end of a process like that. And that's not forever. That's okay. But the intention behind it is because you need the dots to be so small. So like I'll go in and I'll explain that. just so it doesn't sound like I'm being a wank. The reason why that has to be done in that way is because the dots need to be so small because of the scale of the picture. So the thing about texture that sometimes falls a little bit short for people is understanding that texture is about scale and size. So if you're a 1/6 bust or a 1/10 bust, or if you're a 75mm figure, a 90mm figure, or whatever, each one of those is a viewing distance that you see the model at. So your texture actually has to mirror that distance for it to be effective and look realistic. So for this Curie, she's actually quite small. You're actually looking at her from a reasonably far away. So those dots have to be really, really small.
You're preaching to the converted with me, mate. Texture. Scale contrast. Some great stuff there from Bear Cave. What about that?
Yeah. That's other Trent. Well, not even other Trent. That's Trent who I spend every Tuesday with. There are many paths up the mountain.
That's a good question, Timbo, and I think it's a question more people should be asking. Can you paint this spirit in that amount of hours?
Yeah, again, that's the answer. The answer is that you have spent your time developing that as a skill, so you can do it. And other people, if they want to, spend their time developing that as a skill, can do it as well. And it is just that simple.
It is just that simple, you're absolutely right. I want to push the pram a lot. I believe you, Scaraboss, you could paint it in 5 hours. I think there are many people who could paint it in 5 hours. Could you paint what I've done in 5 hours? Well, that's a decision for you to answer. I can tell you now that you couldn't, but, you know.
It was like one of those, like, was it it's not Thor, but it's one of the Scandinavian sagas where there's like a whole bunch of challenges that they have to do.
Yeah.
Each one is, it sounds like one of those, but it's like, can you beat Deno at doing this in 5 hours? And the answer is probably not, because you've not developed that skill. Like, your whole painting style is based around it. All of your muscle memory is based around it. So,
Yes.
You know who's an absolute torch these days? Sleepy Slane. Sleepy Slane can do it.
He's a beast, that guy. Yeah, he is an absolute weapon.
He's a jet these days, and he's really fast. He prioritised speed above all else, due to the intention of his painting and what he does it for. And I think he could absolutely come in the speed column. But you remember, that's all they used to ask us, do you remember?
Yeah.
How can I get better, but I can't sacrifice time?
Yep.
And the answer was quite simple, wasn't it?
Just fucking paint, mate.
Do it more.
Alright. I've got to decide what I'm going to start painting next now.
Probably time for a 75. But not a 75 in a Dio.
Just a little 75, you reckon?
Well, yeah, you know why? Because all your 75s in the last fair while have been Dio based, apart from those dwarves. So having to spend a little bit more time on a 75 would be a fun exercise. What do you think?
I'm going to grab some stuff down.
Yeah, nice.
shit. Alright. 4 choices. 4 choices. Don't know that any of them are really rustling my jimmies, but let's have a look. This one. This is Moorbucker from Mindworks Games, limited edition.
Pretty cool one, though.
Yeah, good sculpt.
Could be good for like doing some atmospheric stuff.
Yeah, I might try and do a Moses Yao
Is it a
style.
Oh man, I mean, it is a style now, right? Is it David Robinson? Is that the fellow?
Yeah,
Is that his name?
Uh-huh.
He did one recently. I think there's a fellow over in America. Is it something Price?
Yep.
He's been doing a lot of that stuff as well.
Adriel from Beyond. Liam painted one of these for.
Yeah.
I got this Pearl from Ignis, which could be fun for some interesting skin texturing and patterning. And then a completely left field one. This Barbarian bust. The Burka, the Barbarian.
Very good bust, but I think one of the girls.
Okay.
What do you think? What is your first thoughts to lean toward?
I'm open to any of them, mate. I'm excited to paint, which is wonderful.
It's fired up.
Pearl, Scaraboss voting for Pearl.
Ask your votes, friends.
Moorbucker. Good one. I haven't done a Mindworks piece for a while. I've got 2 sitting there. I've got Oz, which is a little more elaborate. Alright, I'm not calling this one done yet because I've still got to do the books, but I'm going to varnish it so that I can touch it with my fingers and fuck around. So I'm going to leave the varnish to dry overnight. So I'm going to wrap it up for now. Buxo, it's been a pleasure,
Always,
mate.
mate.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, a little bit to think about, which is always good.
I'll be back on whatever day's next. Sunday,
Monday.
painting toy soldiers and having a good time, and Bucks and I'll probably be catching up for a paint sometime this week, won't we, mate?
Yeah, sure. Is that what we do?
I don't know. Probably not.
We can absolutely. Do
I've
that.
actually got a shit week. I've got a shit week. Wednesday's touch. Thursday I'm going to see my friend Mark to show him my diorama that he helped me make. And
Yeah.
Friday, have a friend's thing to go to, and then
Sunday it is.
Sunday it is. Yeah. All right. Have a good one, friends.
I've got a wedding. I've got
Oh,
a
have
wedding
you?
this Saturday that I'm best man for, so I probably can't. Maybe I'll just swing by Sunday afternoon. So.
Sounds good. All right, friends. Have an awesome time. Big Deno out. Get a dog up, yeah.
Get a dog up. Yeah.